Welcome to the Financial Freedom Mastermind Group podcast. Here we're all about breaking free from the 40 to 50-year work grind and accelerating our journey towards financial freedom. Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern as we explore different types of investments that can fast-track your path to financial independence. We serve as a hub for connecting with fellow members during our sessions so you can share successes, ask questions, and keep the momentum going.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Niyi Adewole, host of the Akaba Home Financial Freedom Mastermind Group, and I'm excited to be joining you on the last Wednesday of February. It's crazy how quick this year is going by, but again, one of the things that we stress within our group is setting goals and getting after it and not depending on tomorrow, because tomorrow never gets here and yesterday's gone forever. So you really got to focus on the now and what can you do today to move your goals along. And so happy to be joining you on a Wednesday that we actually released our latest Akaba Home Market Update newsletter. And so we're going to be having Nyra Sanders from the Akaba Home team join here shortly. And we're going to be able to kind of walk through some of the updates and the changes that have happened in the market. We also sent this out to the group to kind of give you a preview of what we're going to discuss today. But Nyra, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Super good. We are the last Wednesday of February, and it's exciting to be getting the market update. Thank you for putting it together.
Of course. I love doing them. It's exciting. I get to add my own little creative touch to every newsletter. So
come on now. And this one, I mean, I saw something different, right? When I saw the pink and the red, I was like, okay, I think we're going with a theme here. So we did do the Valentine's Day theme, which was cool. But do you mind sharing kind of just the high level, some of your thoughts from the new newsletter?
Yeah, so I kind of stuck to the basics, but I kind of switched it up a little. But first, I go into talking about the market update. So one thing that I did notice was the interest rates from last month. It was about like 7%. And this month, we're looking at about 6.6% for the 30-year fixed mortgage. And then I go into talking about what we love and what we dislike about real estate. And then also I did something new. So I added a neighborhood spotlight. So basically I'm just touching on some of the areas in Atlanta and just giving it some recognition. So this month I did little 5 points. I go there all the time. I love it. So I talked a little bit about the history and then some things to do. It's known to be like the hippie town of Atlanta. It has a lot of history to it, a lot of thrift stores and restaurants. So I put some recommendations in there too. And then to close off the newsletter, I did our client success story where I talked about the client that we had helped overseas in Japan. They actually invested in a property in Atlanta. So that was really exciting, be able to help people like all over the world invest. And and then I close it off with the contact information. So all of our socials are on the last page. If you just click the little link, the icon, we have the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and then our website. And then also, I have a link, the Eventbrite link to our very first Akaba Home Appreciation event, which will be held March 22nd. So I'm really excited for that. This is our first one. So you can get your tickets and it's free and you can bring a +1, but we're just going to be making cocktails, chit-chatting, and, having a good time and connecting with everyone. So I'm excited for that. And I hope to see a lot of people come out.
Come on now. No, I am pumped for that too. It's something that we talked about last year, starting to be able to put on events for the myriad of people that are on this call, that are part of the Akaba Home Mastermind, and also the clients that we've been able to help. And so I'm super excited for that first one. We don't have a location yet, right? We're still trying to, weigh the factors. There's so many short-term rentals that we could do it at, that we manage and or own. And then also we've got a bunch of listings. And so we're trying to decide between, okay, what venue makes the most sense and what's going to be available around that time. But if you go ahead and register per that link that's in Nyra's newsletter, then we're going to be able to kind of have you be alerted as soon as we drop the location. So I'm super excited for that.
Yes, I can't wait.
And while we're waiting for others to join, what's going on in your world? Anything new from an investing standpoint, from working with client standpoint? What you got, Nyra?
client standpoint, I am helping somebody. This is like my very first person that I'm working with, by myself. So I'm helping him find his first investment property. So I'm very excited about that. And just growing with the team. It's so much fun. It's such a blessing being on this team because like I've just learned so much and I'm just learning like every single day. But other than like work, I've just been doing like a little bit of traveling. I have some trips lined up. So yeah, that's about it. What about you?
Come on now. I'm going to answer that question, but you are definitely the traveler of the Akaba home team. So when we start picking out these trips in the future, we're going to go to you as the resident expert. But to that point, I'm legit having fun growing the team. Like it's cool going out there and doing stuff on your own, but it's even funner when you can do it with a team and kind of celebrate wins together. And I love seeing the growth across the board. So that's pretty incredible. Plus, we are tracking toward mega team. And I got a call from our broker. We got a new broker. Her name's Jennifer. You probably saw some emails going through. But long story short, we got a call this morning from the broker. Haven't told the team this yet. I'll tell them on the next team meeting. But apparently, for the month of January, we were top 10 for teams in Georgia, which is pretty cool, right? For me to see. So we got the personal call. I was like, hey, okay. I didn't know that. We were just head down trying to get after it. But apparently, we were top 10 for the teams in Georgia. And so, hey, we hit the goals that we want to hit this year. I think we're going to finish minimum in the top 20. But the goal is to take down that number one spot eventually. I just want to make sure that we're all kind of hitting on all cylinders. So that's one thing I'm excited about. Other piece, when you start talking about different deals, man, it's fun working with clients and it gives you so many reps that now, and you'll see this in your personal deals too, when you start to work on your personal deals, you're not nervous or scared to go after things that may be a little bit outlandish. For example, currently looking to buy another house hack, right? That we're actually going to kind of move into because this home that I'm personally in has grown so much in value that we're looking to take that equity and move it. And so I was looking at a house today that is still under construction. And typically way back in the past, like many years ago before I became a realtor, it's not one I would have went after, right? Because I'm like, okay, we got to wait till construction finishes, things of that nature. But because we've worked on other deals like this with clients before, now there's no fear going in there, taking a look and putting that offer in and just extending all the timelines, right? So I already got in my head kind of how we want to work this. And honestly, you can work out a sweetheart deal. So this house that we're looking at is a little over $1 million, but it's a duplex with an in-law suite. So essentially it's a triplex. And we're working out a deal where we could potentially take it down, right? And have it to where we would get the full amount toward closing, which is 6%, about $60K toward closing, right? Which would help us knock out all the closing costs, knock down the interest rate. We'd only put down 5% to purchase this, which would be about $50K, right? And then we'd have kind of all the rest of the funds in our account to furnish the place and get going from there to make it 2 Airbnbs and then the unit that we live in. And it's also pretty close proximity to the Beltline, right? So right now we're pretty close, about a mile away. This one to get us to less than half a mile from the one that they're building out. And so, yeah, it's pretty incredible.
That's really exciting. I can't wait to start investing. Hopefully by the end of this year.
Come on
next
now.
year.
No.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited for that piece too, because when you look at you starting and Liban and Deanna and the rest of the team, it moves you leaps and bounds forward. And now you can pull from a lot of personal stories that's only going to help our clients get better. Like the reason that I use the CPAs that I use is because they invest themselves. And so they know exactly, hey, these are the laws that are utilized and what we use to kind of, take advantage of different things. And they're able to do that for me as well. So no, it'll be good.
Right. Yeah, no, I can't
And
wait.
again, this is an open session. So please feel free to drop any questions, comments in the chat and or join live while me and Nyra are just spitballing. But on a complete side note, go ahead.
I was just saying, I know Lee said that he had to take out some fires tonight, so he couldn't join us.
Yeah, there's definitely constantly fires that are getting put out when you get fully into this thing. I'm actually negotiating a due diligence period right now And after this call, I need to hop on with the client really quick just to finalize it and send it off to the other agent. But long story short, I have to do it tonight because the other agent is leaving town tomorrow and they're going to be unreachable and due diligence ends tomorrow. So it's like, okay, let's get this out so we can talk about it, figure this piece out, and hopefully have this figured out before she boards that flight tomorrow morning and see if we can't make it happen. But on that investing front that we were talking about, when you talk about the first house, what are you looking to do from that standpoint? Are you looking to buy a pure investment or maybe a house hack? Come on now. Nothing wrong with the Airbnb and house hack and the container home. I view that last piece though as that's like it's so when you talk about doing it's not ground up because it's container home, but it kind of is because you got to put everything inside it. And so when you look at like a house hack, I look at that as riding a bike with training wheels on it. Like you have to live somewhere, right? It's better than paying rent, and you're learning while you're on site. So if there's anything that goes wrong, you're there. If you need contractors to come, like you're there, right? I look at buying a pure investment as, now you're riding that bicycle with no training wheels and you're kind of growing from there. And then I look at buying a small multi or doing a ground up build or a major rehab as like riding a motorcycle, right? And that's where it's, hey, there's really no restrictions on you. And so things, accelerate quickly. So definitely a fan of the house hack slash if you can buy, a small investment, I'm all for it. Absolutely. And I'm just dropping a message in the chat. Feel free to join via the join button and or ask any questions via chat. This is an open session. And Nyra just went through the new newsletter that we dropped. And so there's a lot of different pieces that were changed as far as the interest rate going down a little bit, as far as talking about highlighting certain neighborhoods. And so please feel free to join in, ask any questions of our resident expert, and we'll get going from there. No, no, and this is a good one, right? So what I love about real estate is the fact that it gives you a lot of wealth over time. Like what I love is the statistics. Back in the day, like 2014, 2015, when I was really looking into, hey, I'm going in the corporate world. How do I invest money? I know nothing. I researched everything. I researched stocks. I researched real estate. I researched, insurance, things of that nature. And what stood out about real estate is the fact that you can control a lot of it, right? Like you can control which tenant you put in there. You can control whether you want to have it updated. You can control which area that you want to buy in. And it's highly leverageable, right? So instead of having to put, 100% of this fund into the stock and hoping that it goes up, right? And just hanging on, not being able to control anything except for attending these, corporate meetings. With real estate, you can actually increase the value yourself and you can put down a fraction of the cost. So literally the first investment that I got, which was a triplex out in Louisville, Kentucky, I scraped together every dollar that I had. I scraped together about $5,000, which back then is all you needed to buy a $200,000 house. And I bought a triplex, lived in one unit, rented the other two out, and I essentially lived for free, and it changed my life. Doing that allowed me to save about $1,100 per month, right? That I was before paying to like an apartment. And I saved up for the next one and just kept doing it. And so I got comfortable to invest in other investments as well. So long-winded answer, but what I love about real estate is the fact that it's highly leverageable. It can really change your life. And over time, it only gets better. What do you love about real estate? Agreed. Agreed. And even adding on to that piece, as you get to different levels within the real estate investing career, you can add leverage, right? Like when you look at starting out, typically you start out managing your own properties, right? And so in Louisville, I managed those 3 units. And then I kept building even when I moved to Boston, and I was able to build it up to about 15 units self managing before I started to go crazy, right? It was like, hey, with the W 2 and managing these and turnovers and stuff, like I literally don't have time to do anything else. And so I reached out to property. It starts to become a lot. But then I reached out to property management and was able to get one situated. And long story short, once property management took over, it was like, oh, this doesn't take any time for me anymore. Just weekly or monthly meeting. And so now I moved it and was able to get up to 30 units, right? Pretty quickly. Because now I just buy a unit and hand it over. And it was the same thing with like the short-term rentals out in the metro of Atlanta, right? When I first started, it was like, oh man, this is amazing. Let me build this thing up. Then you get to a point where it's like, hey, I can't do this by myself. And you start pulling in others. And then it becomes super fun because now, for example, with our management company, right? The max that I could personally manage solo was about 5 or 6, right? And then it started to get to a point where I was missing messages. But now we have 25 under management and we're taking 3 units live right now. And it's a lot easier because there's a team around it. So literally we got operations manager who set up all the cameras, got me linked in. So now I look at him like, okay, I got all the cameras there. Has the locks getting installed. We've got the punch list getting taken care of. Pictures coming next week, deep cleaning. And, before it was all a one-man shop. Now it's a team thing. So it's highly leverageable, long story short, real estate is. And I see we got a question in the chat. Robbie is asking, how long do you typically wait to refinance? For example, my rate is just under 7. What factors do you think about for when to refinance and when to wait for the rate to drop more? Nyra, did you want to start this or you want me to take this? Okay, so here goes how I look at it. It's a simple math equation. To do a refinance, it's going to cost you money, right? So refinance is part of the close. It's when you close in a house, there's closing costs. Same thing when you refinance because you're doing another mortgage on the home. So there's closing costs. And so for easy numbers, let's say that your refinance is going to cost $1,000. And believe me, it's going to cost a lot more. But let's say it's going to cost about $1,000, right? The number and the way I look at it is how quickly can I recoup that $1,000? And so if it's going to save me $100 per month on my mortgage, then in 10 months I've recouped it and now I'm gaining $100 every single month. So that's a no-brainer for me. If it's less than 12 months to repay that refinance with the savings, done. But if it's going to save me $10, right, then it's going to take, upwards of 7 years before I recoup that. So at that point, I may not refinance. And so when you look at actual percentages, I know the percentage rate right now is about 6.5%, and you're just under 7. It may not make sense when you actually look at the numbers. I would reach out to a mortgage professional and ask them, hey, roughly what does it cost to refinance a mortgage? And if it doesn't make sense, I would not do it. The one caveat to that is if the value of your home has gone up significantly, right? And you put down less than, 5%, like buy it as a personal home, then it may make sense to refinance to remove the PMI, which is another cost that's built in there. If that makes any sense. Hope that helped. Any other questions from the chat and or call-ins? Now, I think this would be kind of cool if you walk through just a little bit at a high level. You talked about it before, but the clients that we were able to help from Japan, do you mind sharing just a little bit about their story and kind of what they were looking to do? December. It was like right around Christmas that they closed. Yeah, and it was one that all the way up to the end, we didn't even know if it was actually going to close because we got thrown kind of a wrench, right? Like a couple of days before closing, we thought, okay, they could just get signed with a notary over there and send the docs and everything's going to be good because they're military, so there's notaries on base. But there's a specific law in Georgia where it has to be like a power of attorney thing. Somebody needs to be in person basically for somebody who's overseas. And so long story short, we had to have them FedEx like a power of attorney from Japan. And it took like 10 days. It literally arrived like, I think the day of the signing or like a couple hours before their sister was signing. And we were just moving by faith to kind of make it happen. So that was one of the wrenches. And then also that time difference was crazy. I think it was like 13 hours. And so we had a very tight window to actually talk to them and be like, okay, 7, 8 a.m., right? Because that's right before they go to bed. Or it'd be, okay, let's hop on a Zoom at like 10 p.m., to make it happen. But we figured it out, made it happen for them, and they are off and running. And you should see how that place looks. It looks actually pretty incredible. So they've been rocking and rolling for the past couple months. Come on now. Absolutely. Any other questions or comments from the chat? Please feel free. On a complete side note, while we're waiting for that, we're going to have a couple more guests joining in the near future. I actually have a flipper who is super active right now. I'm just working to nail down what date makes the most sense. But it's somebody that we've closed a lot of deals with. And he is going to be joining us just to talk about what he looks for from a flip standpoint and how he's built out his team, because he literally doesn't even see these properties really anymore. It's just like all numbers on a spreadsheet and kind of just his team goes and takes care of it, which is incredible and inspiring for those that are looking to get into flipping in the Metro of Atlanta. Yeah, we're trying to target March for it. We just don't have a date yet. He was traveling a bit with the family, so he just got back in town. Connecting with him later this week, like I think Friday, and then we're going to see if we can't lock in a time that we can get him on to talk about that piece. Because I know we've had a kind of a focus on short-term rentals, I want to say, to start the year. So it's good to shift a bit and get more long-term rentals, more flippers, and people that are doing different strategies as well. All right. Nyra, you got anything else? All right. Come on now. We're going to cut this one a little bit short. I hope that everybody has an awesome Wednesday and an amazing start to your March, which is coming up literally in 2 days. So, guys, we are in the third month. Please, if you have not started getting after your goals, now is the time. But looking forward to continuing to see you guys on these weekly calls. And Nyra, thank you for joining us today to share about the market updates. Of course. See you guys.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern as we explore different types of investments that can fast track your path to